Shawn Ray TV. I'm here with three-time Mr. Olympia champion Frank Zane. We're at the San Diego Fit Expo, and Frank, you've got some news. You said you're working on a movie right now.
Yeah, it's called Zane Defined, and it's about my career, but it's also emphasizing bodybuilding in the 70s.
And for some of you that don't know, in the 70s, that's when Frank won his first of three Mr. Olympia championships to close out the decade, 77, 78, and 79. But Frank, how many Olympias were you actually in? How many did you do?
10.
Did 10 altogether. And so you're actually, yeah, you did. You competed after you lost in 79. You won in 79. You competed again until 1983, I believe.
3 times.
And so what do you make of the evolution of bodybuilding? Because there's only 14 Olympia champions, and you got 3 of those titles. It's quite different now, and I think partly why they started the classic physique, I think he's responsible for that, because the guys started getting so big. But what do you make of the bodybuilders today?
That's the name of your film, The Evolution of Bodybuilding, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's a great movie, by the way. I like the still photos you used. The black and whites were great. But I think, you know, the emphasis may be changing back to more classical with some of the, Danny Hester. Classical, fantastic physique, going for quality, shape, and definition.
I've always wanted to ask someone like you, because you were like one of the few artists out there. Did it change when we saw Dorian come on the scene, or was it already changing with Lee Haney being the bigger bodybuilder?
In 1983, I knew it was changing when I saw Haney finish third. And then the next year, of course, he deserved to win in '84, and that was the start of the big guys are back. We had that brief period of 76 to 83, where guys under 200 pounds could win it. I think the turning point was at the 1980 Mr. Olympia, where they made bodybuilding competitors now all in one class.
Right,
when that happened, I said, this is over now.
Yeah.
We had our shot, and that's it. Here come the big guys are back.
Yeah, and so is that a good thing? I mean, because I think there's more smaller bodybuilders that have gotten lost, and they're great athletes.
Well, I think they really need to look at the total physique rather than, just the size. But I sort of thought about why it's like that. When you go to a contest, let's say you have Danny Padilla on stage. Remember in 1981 what he looked like? Incredible. And
I heard he should have won.
You should have. And then Lou Ferrigno, okay? Now, in his best shape, Louis, you put Louis and Danny Padilla next to each other, up close, it's all Padilla.
Yes.
You get back 60, 80, 100 feet, you don't see Padilla, you see just big Louis. And also pay attention to where the biggest cheers come from, the back of the auditorium.
That's right.
Where you can't see detail.
Yeah.
So it's great for size, for far away, but detail you get up close, it's different.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, with the inception of the classic physique, we're starting to now see some bodies like yourself that came in. You paid attention to your posing, you paid attention to your tan. I mean, there's very few guys that back in the day would pay attention to detail the way that you did. And with the classic physique, I predicted in 5 years that there's going to be more athletes wanting to be a part of that than the actual bodybuilding.
I hope so. I think it's going in that direction, little by little.
Well, we are here at the Fit Expo here in San Diego. Frank's promoting his new movie that's coming out. What else is going on, Frank? I know that as I'm getting a little bit older, a little bit younger than you, that I'm finding it a little harder for myself to be motivated to go to the gym and to push it. Are you doing a different style of training now, or what are you doing?
Well, I'm 76 now, and it's not the same.
Yeah.
But basically, I train upper body once, maybe every 5th or 6th day.
Okay.
And it's a lot of machines. It's maybe 2 sets on mostly everything, and 3 sets on some. And I start off with archery, and then I work upper body after that.
So you're starting to get evolve into some other elements of using the muscle.
Well, I always have been, but now it's getting more of the main thing that I'm really interested in. I want to get really good at that, and then at music too. So I really enjoy training with people. That's what I do basically. I'm not a personal trainer, but people come and I do a seminar with them and train with them.
Okay.
And so that's how I continue to train. So I might have somebody 3 days in a row, I'll work out with them 3 days in a row, but I don't do a lot of stuff.
So you were a teacher back in the day. You're still teaching today, basically.
I like teaching. It's my calling, I think. And it's sort of like it's like I'm doing it myself when I help other people doing it. And when I see them succeed, it's a great pleasure for me to be able to do that.
Well, it's awesome to have followed in your footsteps. We see a lot of great athletes out there, but very few that actually make the imprint and the impact that someone like Mr. Frank Zane has done over the years, not only just the years, over the decades. It's been a long time since 1977, and we're going to continue to look for what Frank Zane is involved in. What's your social media? You got a website?
FrankZane.com.
FrankZane.com.
We have a lot of stuff going on all the time with podcasts and Facebook and all that.
All right, keep an eye out for this guy, 3-time Mr. Olympia, Frank Zane. I'm Shawn Ray, Shawn Ray TV.